I just made a video about sharpening the ward cast steel forged plain iron. And I realised it was 54 minutes long. I've uploaded it anyway, but I thought I'd just make a video. I'll sharpen the ward cast steel plain iron a little bit more rapidly. So let's see if we can get it all done under 10 minutes. Now the sharpen process you can actually do in a couple of minutes, but me showing it's going to take a bit longer. Anyway, no further ado, let's get to it before we waffle anymore. So okay, this plain iron is already reasonably sharp as it is in this old wooden Jack Plane. Okay, so how do you remove the actual plain iron out of your wooden hand plane? Well, what you've got to do first is you've got to tap it either there or there with a wooden or plastic mallet like this forehammer here. So you can tap it there and that will release, or should release, the plain iron. And basically you end up with this wedge, let's put that to one side, and then the chip rake and the plain iron assembly comes out. Now this plain iron is a ward cast steel from Norwich in Norfolk plain iron, and it is it's a laminated plain iron, that it is. So let's remove the screw, bring the chip breaker back to the hole and remove the plain iron. Now these are excellent plain irons. They're better than the Sorbies, much better actually. Sorbies are a bit on the soft side. These are very hard. There's a laminated piece of hard steel in the back of this plain iron where the cutting edge is. It goes back to about here, I believe. It might be a little bit further or not. I can't honestly remember. But this one's got a little bit on the dull side. But anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly sharpen that up using oil stones and my little honing jig here, which is literally a block of oak, actually a bit of old oak handrail actually, for which I've cut to the correct angle and also installed these two little neodymium magnets in there. So that literally all that you do is you just plonk them in there like so. Okay. The first thing you want to do is just make sure the back is flat. Now I'm going to be using an oil stone. Now we're going to be starting with the coarse. Now sometimes you won't need to worry about that, you see. Now if you just put an edge on, because you already got one, you want to just get a little bit more keen on that edge, go straight to the fine. You don't need to worry about the coarse, but we're going to be doing the coarse because I think I need a little bit more off the edge on this one. It isn't that coarse anyway, to be fair. So what I'll do is I'll place it on there like so. Then I'll just tap the plain iron gently down to the stone without actually trying engaging the stone, as in put a chip in it. And we use a bit of oil. This is just thin engine oil mixed with a bit of white spirit. And then I'll just do that. Literally backwards and forwards. Maybe a bit more. You'll feel it engaging, but only just. And you'll see if it's engaging, you'll see there where the actual oil's been rubbed backwards and forwards. Now, the beauty about this jig, you can just do that if you want, a figure of 8. Or you go backwards and forwards, doesn't matter. You can do it sitting down. Yeah, it don't matter. I keep calling it a jig, it's a honing guide. It don't matter. Unlike the ones with the wheels on, because they've got the wheel, you can only go backwards and forwards. With these, you can make use of the whole stone. Like so. Right, okay, that's pretty good. A bit more maybe. That's it. But make sure it's engaging fully, but not influencing the angle of the grind. Now, I'm not going to put a micro bevel on. I'm literally just going with the primary bevel. Wherever it comes, it comes. And that way I can maintain the angle. Whenever I want to sharpen this plane on, it's always going to be the same. And that's the thing about sharpening. You need to make sure, or do your best, to make sure you do the same thing again and again and again. I'm not talking about muscle memory, I'm talking about just the angle using this honing guide that we have here. And you're maintaining the angle of the plain iron. Instead of actually trying to do it by freehand and creating a round on it, which to me it just doesn't make sense. I feel that's good. It's coming along nicely. That's good. So what I'm going to do now is, if it's a dual stone, you can flip it over and go on the fine stone side. But we're not going to do that. I'm going to use my second stone, which is already... Oh, it is the fine in there. I have actually got another one over there, actually, I could use. You don't need 3 stones. Where it is. Bit of an idiot now. There it is, look. Put that in there. Right. Now remember, these are combination stones, so they do have a fine and coarse side on them. This is an India oil stone. So now I've gone to the fine. Now we're just going to do a thing on the fine like so. Remember, just a few swipes is usually enough, provided you haven't put a notch in your plain iron and damaged it. Now, I'm not one for Tormex or anything like that. I think it's unnecessary. It's like trying to overcomplicate something that's actually a very simple process. There's too much tool snobbery out there. For what? Is it for the process, for the purpose of frightening people away from actually giving it a go? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Just keep things simple. You don't need to complicate matters. You should feel a burr. Oh, it's not there yet. Well, it is there, but I'd like a bit more. My shavings are in the way. These are Ward cast steel, and they were quite common in the Griffiths planes, wooden hand planes, which were made in Norwich, Norfolk, until 1958. I feel quite happy with that. Right, now I'm going to go into the waterstone. You don't have to do that stage if you want to. You could even use a diamond stone if you want. But being I've got one, I'm going to use it. A dash of H2O. And you can see you're doing something because everything's turning into this nice yucky brown, black colour, sort of grey colour. Okay, that's good. Now before you actually try and take that burr off on the stone, you could use the end grain here and just peel off that burr on the end grain there before you tack your waterstone with it on the back. Just flatten the back. Oh dear, here we go. Right, so we're getting there. And then we use the rule, which is an old technique, no matter what Rob Cosman might say. Oh, it's happening. It was Charlesworth method or something he said. I was on a previous video. My dad showed me this probably 20, 30 years ago. I don't always do it. And all you're doing is just lifting the back edge a little bit. So if you've got an old iron like this one, which might not be 100% flat on the back because of damage or whatever, you can concentrate the flatness right near the edge. It does work. You'll create a burr in the opposite direction then. That's why you just remove the burr first. Scratch the stone. So I'm going to do that. Still doing it. Bit of grit on it. If you see that whiteness when you first put it onto a stone, like a waterstone like this, that's because there's a burr still there. You've got to remove it. I'm doing about freehand on this bit. This is like a, I can't remember what it is, I think it's 8 or 10,000 grit. It's really fine anyway. So you're not going to influence the actual bevel much. You're just basically removing the burr. All corrugated is getting sharp now. And I'm going to do a bit of stropping. I'm using palm of hand. Down, up, and then when you get the hang of it, you just do that. Never sideways, for obvious reasons. It'll cut your wrists. Not a good idea. You'll die. Don't do that. But what we're doing is we're bending the burr, the wire edge, one way, then the other way, and then it just basically just breaks off. All right. The other thing you can use is a leather strop if you like. Place the paste on there. I tend to use a bit of white spirit on there as well. It lifts the abrasive out of the leather. This is a piece of old oxen, it's a harness for not ox. It's a bit of old leather. But you could use, if you've got a proper old belt, you could set one of them in the block of wood if you like. Use that as your strop. So a few stripes one way, and a few stripes the other way. About 20 each way generally is what you generally do. Now that's pretty sharp, I should say. Let's see whether or not I'll shave, and I've got no hair left on the backs of my hands, so I've got to keep shaving it. That's doing the job. Yeah, that's shaving. Oh, crikey. Take your skin off if you're not careful. Yeah. Crikey. Got bald hands, I have. Bald hands. So we'll place that back into the wooden hand plane. When you put the chip breaker back on, do it sideways, sort of perpendicular to the actual iron itself. Don't try and come across the plane iron. we just sharpen. That's silly. So don't go that way, no. So I'll then bring it across here like so, and bring it sideways like that, and then bring it to around between 1 and 3 millimeters from the edge. You know, some people got different preferences, what have you. But I find it makes very little difference. You don't be right on the edge like some people try and tell you. Yeah, between around 2 to 3 millimeters is good, or 1 to 3 millimeters. I'm quite satisfied that that is sharp. At the moment, the chip breaker is too far over one side, so I'm just going to tap that so it's flush on that face. The same here. That's good. So let's remove the actual waterstones, the oil stones, etc. Got that same piece of wood here. Got to make sure the grain's going in the right direction. Hence that way. Put that into the vise. And set up the wooden hand plane. So we're going to put the plane iron back into the wooden hand plane, and then we're going to take a few swipes with this wooden hand plane, which is by Griffiths of Norwich. So we just slide that into there, right? Don't drop it in because you could put a notch in your wood. Just place it in there like such as just touching. Grab your wedge, okay? This one I restored yesterday, actually, this hand plane, and it's working lovely now. Just tap that down into place like so. You ain't got to go mad. Right, and at the moment, that plane iron shouldn't really be engaging with the wood. It is just about. It's probably about right, actually. But generally what you do is you have it so you can move it backwards and forwards without any engagement of the plane. So it just literally just slides backwards and forwards without any trouble. And then you'll tap the plane iron until it just about makes engagement, making sure that your wedge is actually tight. So whenever you do anything with the plane iron, you're going adjusting it. So if you want the plane iron in deeper, you tap the back of the plane iron with either a 4 hammer like this one, or a brass hammer, or a wooden mallet or something like that. Don't use metal. Crikey. That's what damages all this back edge of the plane iron. You know, that gets sharp, you see. Where you got your hands and your fingers? You're getting burrs on there, you're going to be cutting yourself, aren't you? So there's 2 places you can retract the plane iron. One is by tapping it here, and the other one is tapping it on the heel of the plane itself. And to engage the plane iron deeper, you just tap it on the plane iron itself. If you want to screw the plane iron, you basically tap it one way or the next. Just tap, yeah. But every time you do anything with a plane iron or try and adjust here, you have to make sure you tap the wedge in again. But just tap it in. It doesn't need to be very tight. Just tight enough. I would say it's a little bit too much. Let's take it off here. Quite chunky shavings. Also, I haven't got the screw quite right. I like a bit thinner shaving at the moment. It's not bad though, is it? Okay. And the piece of wood is wider than the actual plane iron. It's a 2-inch plane iron in here, which is about 51 millimeters. And this piece of wood is probably about 2.5 inches. So there's no rock in it, so that's a good sign. So I want a little bit less plane iron engaging with the wood. So I'm going to tap it on the back here like so. That should force the plane iron out. And then tap that down again. So now there's no engagement whatsoever. So I'm going to tap it down until I start getting a bit of engagement. Just about starting to. I can feel it. Okay, that might be too much now. Oh, no, it's not. It's not straight though. So the screw needs to go that way a little bit, so I'll tap it diagonally on this corner here. Still a little bit on the fixed side. Right, it's quite hard to adjust in the way of getting finer shavings. Try that. It's still too thick. The other place you can hit it is here. Let's try that. I think with this plane, it's probably the most effective place to change the to release the plane iron and the cap, because it seems to be more effective if I hit it here than I do when I hit it on the back. It's not always not the same on every plane, it seems. I think that's probably as thin as you're going to get it with this particular hand plane. And this is a Griffiths 15-inch by 2-inch Jack Plane. But the point is, you can get a lovely edge, make lovely thin shavings with a very old tool like this. At the end of the day, You've only just got to look at the furniture that these people, these ebonists from a bygone era, what they used to make. It's not like the crap we make these days, is it? No. So they used these. They didn't use the metal-bodied hand planes, did they? No. Well, some of them did actually, be fair, because they've been going since the Industrial Revolution, to be fair. But, you know, many carpenters would have something like this. Yeah. Joiners and ebonists, artisans, etc. Anyway, don't forget to boot the old like button, helps channel, you know. Yeah. Oh, crikey. It's time for me to go. Say toodaloo, you know. Oh, by the way, we're doing a rewilding here in France, and if you want to be a part of that, there's a GoFundMe link down below where you can buy a tree, and I will plant a tree on your behalf, and also put a sign with that tree. Okay? Or maybe with a router or something like that, or with our laser. And, you know, remember of a loved one, or maybe a pet or something like that. Anyway, like I said, it's time for me to go before this video gets too long again, you know. So toodaloo.